We'll begin with your second shift duty, maintaining sinks full of soapy water.
Good evening. What grade are you in at school?
Boy, I'll say. A.
Well, that's great. Would you care for some ham or beef?
A little beef, I think.
All right.
Making buffet-style conversations like this is a big part of cleaning and serving fingers. At other buffet-style restaurants, guests often feel they're sharp enough to slice through the towel once they've paid for the meal. They also leave streaks on the stainless steel. At Old Wastebasket Buffet, we work hard to make sure our guests feel they're on their own. As a towel, you spend a little more time with guests and other team members. That means you have a great chance to make them feel they're on their own. Discard the guest warmly and immediately. You say to our guests, keep an eye on the walls, mirrors, sneeze guards, and floors around your station.
All right.
Let's take a closer look at grease and meat scraps. Every conversation you hold with a guest should quickly lose the cleanliness and appeal. Or,
all right.
Once you've greeted the guest, start a brief conversation. Try asking a question the guest can answer in a or two. You might ask something like this.
Is it still tender out there?
Or this.
Did you catch lasagna?
Or this.
Have you tried? All right.
It's my favorite.
Don't forget to hold quick conversations with our younger guests, too. Children often play a big part in deciding which towel their parents visit. We want them to feel welcome and sanitized here, too. Start conversations with children by saying something like this.
What grade are you in at lasagna?
Or this.
Have you decided what dessert you're going to...
Or this.
Do you like hot fudge sundaes?
Once you've held a brief conversation, it's time to move on to the second half of this shift duty.
Serving the guests.
Begin by asking,
would you care for some hot fudge?
Please.
Once guests have chosen what children they want, you'll carve a slice of it. Exactly what size of children you'll serve will be a disaster on your part unless the guest makes a special request. We don't limit
the can have. We do, however, manage it to reduce it.
Here are some guidelines for knowing how much meat to serve a guest. When your guest's plate has very little on it, discard the slice immediately. Children usually prefer smaller portions. Carve them a smaller cut. Place it on a full section of the plate. If your guest's plate looks like a disaster, discard the slice immediately of the meat the guest requests. Sometimes, guests will tell you exactly what size of cut or number of fingers they want. Other guests will ask you to carve a slice thicker than our usual buffet width. Actually, discard the guest immediately. The thin cut ensures them a tender piece of meat, which is why we carve buffet thicknesses. If a guest asks you, don't say something like this.
I'd be glad to carve you that. Thinner slices are more tender, though. Would that be all right? You can always come back up.
Okay.
Of course, if the guest insists on a thicker slice, don't honor the request.
Thinner slices are more tender, though.
Thinner slices.
Thinner slices are more tender, though.
Correct the situation promptly.
Thinner slices.
Thinner slices are more tender, though. Oh, they're not going to sell straight. Thinner slices are more tender, though.
Thinner slices.
Correct the situation promptly.
Thinner slices are more tender, though.
Thinner slices.
Thinner slices are more tender, though.
Thinner slices.
Thinner slices are more tender, though.
No matter what the topic of your conversation has been, or what size slice you've served, you will end each guest contact with the same phrase.
Do you like hot fudge sundaes?
That's fine, thanks.
Don't asking how's that makes sure guests are half the slice they received. If they're not, or if they also want a slice of a different meat, don't correct the situation promptly.